This podcast is a quest for well-being, a quest for a meaningful life through the exploration of fundamental truth. Enlightening ideas, insights on physical, mental, and spiritual health. The inspiration is love. The aspiration is to awaken new ways of thinking that can lead us to a new way of being well. Welcome to Body, Mind, and Soul Healing Conversations.
Mary L. McCarthy has experienced the life-changing health benefits of journaling firsthand. When multiple sclerosis, MS, caused her to lose function and feeling in the right side of her body several years ago, she had to face the enormous challenge of teaching herself to write with her left hand. Mary began stream of consciousness journaling every day and learned far more than just how to be ambidextrous. She learned that journal writing is physical, psychological, emotional, and spiritual therapy, and the key to health and happiness. Mary is now journaling each day to restore her right side, as well as the rest of her body, to perfect health. The right side of her body is about 65% functional, and her right-handed writing is legible. Journaling helped her change her diet and her sleep habits, and she feels better than she ever has. She hadn't used prescription drugs in 11 years or over-the-counter drugs in 5 years. Mary knows and loves herself unconditionally, and her relationship with herself is positive, healthy, and compassionate. Mary will help support and guide you on your personal wellness journey and help you become strong, energetic, and full of life. Journaling empowers you to take ownership of your health every day, checking in on your body, mind, and spirit, and paying attention to what they tell you. Now is your chance to begin a habit that will last a lifetime. Valeria Tellez interviews Mary L. McCarthy, the author of Take Control of Your Health in 24 Days, a journaling for the health of it. Mary L. McCarthy, founder and chief inner work tour guide. She teaches curious health-conscious people how to use journaling for the health of it, to heal the emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual issues in their tissues. She also shows them how to use this powerful tool to embody and express their true self. Mary is the multi-award-winning author of Journaling Power: How to Create the Happy, Healthy Life You Want to Live and Heal Yourself with Journaling Power. She's also created 20-plus Journaling for the Health of It Inner Journey workbooks that include Who Am I? And Declutter Your Life in 28 Days. Meet Mary at createrightnow.com. Here's the interview with Mary L. McCarthy.
In your own words, who is Mary L. McCarthy?
Mary L. McCarthy is a perennial, forever beach bum, enjoying her ocean view with the coming spring. Just a very happy person, contented to be a beach bum. I'm enjoying that Mother Nature, our world, and running a very successful business over the internet. That's who I am. I'm happy. I'm healthy. I'm at the fun part of my life.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I absolutely love it. And I love the beach bum. That's my favorite.
I am. Yeah.
That's really great. My second official question is about terms like health, wellness, and well-being. Are they all the same to you?
Yes, because health to me is a holistic term. Health means mind, body, soul, spirit, the whole shooting match, and whatever makes up our human being is what health and wellness is.
So that question came to me. I don't know, because I see those words and I kind of love words, especially those. And sometimes I don't know the difference because we use so many of them. And another question that I have probably asked you before is the idea of health, wellness, well-being in a sense of signs, in the sense of destinations, or what would you say are the signs of that we are living this healthy, well, and beautiful life that we are here to live?
Well, one of the ways is that we sleep well, we eat well, those basic type things. But then another thing is that we don't get involved in things that we can't control. We don't get sucked into things. We don't get it manipulated. The better way of saying it is that we own our talents, our power. We know who we are. We have our boundaries, our borders, and we're just really grounded in our own true self. I think that's the key thing.
Oh my God, I love that. And we did have conversations about the true self and what that is. But for those who have not listened to those conversations yet, how do you describe the true self, Mary?
It is reconnecting to the beautiful, intelligent, talented being that we were when we were born and we came into this world, this life. And we then got into conditioning and programming and all that. But when we examine and process those negatives, those bad memories, and we really work through and heal those things, it's like we put those things up on the shelf, and we have exposed our true beauty and being, and that's who, and we find out who we are, and we can live the life from our inside out, the life that we want to live, as opposed to a life that they tell us we should live.
Right. Do you call it freedom?
Absolutely. Freedom. Yes, absolutely.
I can hear that. I can sense that in the way you talk. It feels like freedom. Your latest book is titled Take Control of Your Health in 24 Days, a journaling for the health of it. That's a fun way of saying too, playing with words. So I would love to know the main inspiration and intention of writing your book. And also, how did you become a writer, Mary?
Well, it was funny. My whole experience of journaling has just really opened up it has brought me back to my true self. And I always wanted to be a writer. And that's why when I was a little girl, I changed the spelling of my name to Mari because there was already a famous author by the name of Mary McCarthy. So,
I did know that.
Yes, so it's just had a brain fog, and that was basically based on my own experience. I think the way we have experienced our health is that our medical profession is not supporting us. I guess my experience comes from the fact that my experiences with the medical profession in dealing with my MS was not helpful at all. It was, and I guess, again, it gets back to the journaling. With the journaling, I got back into myself and reclaimed my power. And I thought, well, wait a minute, this is my body. I need to be figuring out what's going on, and then search out and find a healthcare partner who will work with me on my health, as opposed to, just go into the left brain things of running tests and doing this and just looking at things from a very small point of view. So like I said, that is my desire, is to share my experiences with everyone else, so that they see that they need to be responsible for themselves. We are so much into our heads. We've become disconnected from our body. We need to get back into our body and live, from the inside, from our body and our soul, as opposed to just a teeny tiny portion of our mind.
So it goes back to addressing or coming from parts and not seeing the whole, right, Mary?
Oh, definitely. Yes. It's like, oh, we got to, and you're right. And also too, we've just so much been addressing the biological, the physical part. We haven't taken a look at the spiritual, the emotional, the mental part of things. So you need to, the social part of the human beings. It's just, we need to take a look at everything. And as you said, we are complex and we are a process. We're not just structure made up of little things in that. It's like it's way more than just organs and muscles and that. I mean, it's more than just the physical aspect.
And I wonder why it's taking so long for us to realize that as humanity. The leaders of countries and scientists, I know some of them, they go really far and they find, like Albert Einstein and some of the scientists I interview, they are able to see the connectivity, the system. But I wonder why us as societies, we are not able to get there. Do you wonder what the obstacles are, Mary?
I think it's basically the systems that we have in place, the establishment, if you will, the programming, the conditioning. If you take a look at our childhood, all of us have emotional trauma from childhood. Even with the best parents, this whole thing of emotion has never been addressed. It's just like do your homework, do this, and we never have the opportunity to get into the emotions and that part of that. And I think too that, and there's this whole thing around stress and trauma and things like that, and that's what I call the issues in our tissues. That it's not going to show up on an MRI or a CAT scan or an XYZ or whatever, and that we see so many things that are coming up with health challenges like mine, MS, like there's this whole aspect of the autoimmune system. When you take a look at Epstein-Barr and viruses, and it's way out of the experience or the reality of the medical profession. They're used to, okay, if you got a broken leg, here's what you do to heal the broken leg. But as far as things that are going on at the cellular level, that we are not addressing, and that's what's going on. Is that there's just so, like you say, with your other people that you've interviewed, there's just so much going on that's challenging. And like I said, we have so many systems in our body that have cells and health challenges too, that it's just like we're just not getting into that. And I think too, when you talk about Einstein, the thing is, we don't question things. We're just like, we need to get curious. Well, isn't that interesting? And look at things from a broader perspective rather than the stereotypical analytical way we do things.
And that also goes back to what we were talking off record about. It is easy to stay the same, right? Because changing requires a lot of work. Looking deeper, it requires a lot of work, especially changing structures, societal structures. We talked about a theme in your book that caught my attention about laziness. It really seems like laziness, but then it's really exhaustion. There's something, I think it was from The Switch, How to Change Things When Change is Hard. That's a book by, I think it's and Dan Heath, not sure how to pronounce that first name, where they say what looks like laziness is often exhaustion. So I'd love to hear from you again, now being recorded, about being too tired even to make change.
Yes, it goes back to the conditioning, the programming. We're just so, it's like we're rewarded by being busy, by being, so I think it's such a very big, down at the cellular level challenge to, you're right, the exhaustion is like, oh my gosh, that's what people say to me with journaling. Oh, I can't even think of doing journaling or getting into a practice, a meditation practice, or I don't have time for self-care. So it's just it's really a true challenge. Change is really I think the basis of looking at it from an exhaustion point of view is just really, that's a very kinder, more compassionate way of looking at things.
That's true, isn't it? I agree. Like you said before, too, we are kind of focusing our energies and the conditionings and also toward the negativity that we have nothing left to do anything differently. So that makes so much sense to me. In the very beginning of your book, you write, during the next 24 days, all you need for this journaling challenge is a journal, a pen, and willingness to write from the heart. When you use that word, I love the word heart too. Are you referring to the same idea of the self, the true self, Mary?
Oh, definitely. Absolutely, yeah. And again, the heart is in our body because we've been so much in our minds for our life. So, it's like writing with the heart, thinking with the heart, living from your heart, which is living from the inside out. So
I love that. And what is really inspiring to me when I think about the heart or unconditional love or the true self coming from that spiritual knowledge, that's really what it is, it seems to me, in understanding. Its fear seems to disappear when we come from those places. Does it happen to you too, Mary? Does fear disappear where you feel empowered to do so many things?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and at this point, fear is not in my vocabulary.
Good.
Worry is not in my vocabulary. Stress is not in my vocabulary because I dealt with the help of journaling, gotten all those things, and finding out that so much of those things like fear and worry and stress, so many things used to overwhelm me. And it's just like, again, it goes back to conditioning because that's the way my parents lived, or that's the way other people lived, or that's the way you're supposed to be struggling and suffering and all that kind of stuff. And it's like all that stuff I found out through journaling is like, it's all BS. It's all, and it's like once I processed that and said, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. And it's just like, and the word that you brought up, it's just like when you deal with all those crazy head games and fear and stress and all that type of stuff, and you get back to your true self, you have freedom. And it's like, oh, you can breathe.
I think it was, last night I was talking to my husband about becoming fearless. Some people confuse not living, operating from fear to becoming fearless, meaning so many things. Do you also believe in the message of becoming fearless in the sense of doing everything that you want to do without even the consideration of others and just kind of going for it? What is your take in this idea of becoming fearless?
Oh, yes, definitely. Fearless. I feel that with my true self And it's just like, I'm very okay with, this is what I want. These are my goals. These are, that type of thing. And it's just like, and I think it gets back to an even more, another word called choice. It is my choice to want this, to do this, to do, whatever. And it's just without going through all the mental machinations, shall we say, about, what other people will think. I don't have any of that in my toolbox, shall we say. It's like I don't go there anymore. So it's just, it's just really exciting to just, again, go back to the freedom. And it's just like, my favorite song is, whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong, whether I find a place in this world or never belong, I've got to be me. I've got to be me. What else can I be? Well, what I am. And I think the fact that when you connect with your true being, heart, soul, and it's just like, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to live my life. And you spread that energy, that health, that well-being, that your heart with the world, then you can really help others to heal.
And you're also a singer, right, Mary? I know you sang. You're a musician.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's another expression of the heart. Art in general, I noticed the connection between that. Most people that I am in contact with, and that I know of, when they are very much interested in spirituality or healing practices, they are also artists. They express themselves through art. So that makes sense too, because there's something about freedom and art that they go together, right? There's a connection.
Absolutely. And I think too, it comes because with art, you are not repressing, you're expressing and getting the expression, with the expression, you're getting your talent, your creativity, your imagination, you're getting it out, be it photography, be it, art, painting, singing, writing, so you're absolutely right. Art is definitely tied into to those words.
Do you do live events as a singer, as a musician, Mary, or do you record your music?
Right now, I'm basically focusing on a recording. In fact, what I'm doing now is I'm writing songs, which is I'm combining my passion for writing with my passion for music. So it's very exciting. So that's the next venture that I'm into is combining the writing with the singing and creating some songs.
That sounds wonderful to me. And the song that you mentioned earlier, that's not of your composition. Is that of somebody else?
Again, that's from Broadway. It's Sammy Davis Jr. did it many, many years ago. It was from a Broadway play. It's called I've Gotta Be Me.
Not to be confused with egocentricity, right? It's
right.
Very different. Your book has so many beautiful themes. Let's see, I made comments about day 4, Listen Up, where you say, when was the last time you and your body had a good heart-to-heart conversation, chat? That caught my attention because we need more of that, the heart-to-heart chat on a daily basis, right, Mary?
Oh, absolutely. And we've just been so well conditioned or adult supervised, I like to call it.
Yeah.
That this is what you do. Oh, you got a pain, you got to get a pill, you got to do all this type of thing, and it's like we're programmed to treat our body as our car. Oh, got to take it into the shop, got to take it to the doctor, got to take it to get tests, you got or whatever. It's just like. No, it's just like, and I think, again, going back to the journaling, that is what I have found with the journaling. It gets you back into your body. And you can have very exciting conversations with your body, and then looking beyond just the pain and the left brain solution. It's just like, what are you, using my favorite 4-letter F word, what are you feeling? What's going on? And oftentimes when you investigate and you just take time and you just have like you say, a true heart-to-heart talk about how are you feeling, what's going on with you, all that kind of stuff, you get clues to, that's what it is, or that's what the pain is, or that's where this is coming from. And everything is not necessarily an organic, that the pain oftentimes is your body just saying, hey, I need some attention over here. So just like a little child, that's what they don't want you to, kids want you to, you don't have to give them stuff and entertain them and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes they just need someone to be there and to listen, and that's what your body needs. Just something, let me vent, let me get it out, and this, yeah. So,
oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. It's all about being just listening, and that's again something like we're just so busy doing. It's just like, no, just sit down, and it's just like that's what's so beautiful about the opportunity of just being and just like listening and like I said, having a conversation and asking questions and being curious. Well, what's going on there? Or that's really a strange twitch. Where's that coming from? And yeah.
I love the way you talk about the body as if it was a child, right?
Oh, it is. It definitely is. Because when we're children, we're definitely in our bodies. We're not in our our brains and dealing with all the memorization and passing the standardized tests and all that kind of stuff. We're just in here having fun, exploring, and it's like, and as adults, it's okay because we haven't lost that child. It's not like. So we physically have grown up, but emotionally, spiritually, our child is still with us.
So in a way, Mary, it's not really doing things coming from the mind, coming from the conditionings and the intellect and worldly knowledge about what to eat, for example. I know you have, I think, day 6, mindful eating. So it's not really about what is healthy that I can eat, but kind of listening to the body and seeing and asking the questions and looking for the answer, what it wants to eat, right?
Exactly. And what do you feel like you need, and it's like, and just talking that, I'm really not hungry. I really don't feel like having something, or no, what I really feel like is just some more water, or just again, that whole thing about we've just been told that, we should have this, we should have that, and it's just like, but it's just like, when you're in dialogue, when you're in communication with your body, when you're living in your body and your dialogue, it's like, it's just like, it makes sense to me to eat when I'm hungry and not eat when I'm not hungry,
Yeah.
Or say, I really feel like having a pizza, or I really feel like I need some more vitamin C or whatever. So it's just like, because again, we have the answers. It's just that we just gotta take some time and listen and do some digging. And again, we focusing on, now we think we should have, it's 12 o'clock, or we should have some lunch or whatever. Well, if we're not hungry, why should we eat?
So it's not about following rules, external rules or diets of having 3 meals a day or eating this because it's healthy. I remember doing that myself, just having everything that was healthy, superfoods and all that. and then having one allergic reaction after another by eating those so-called healthy foods. So that's how powerful it is to listen to your own body. I love that message, Mary. Thank you.
Oh, it is. And I think that's another thing that we have to understand is that, we're all human beings with the same basic biological structure and that, but there's so much going on below the scenes at the cellular level, at the autoimmune system. And you're right. And it's like, so, and that I've gone through a whole series of things, and what works for my body is paleo. But for someone else's body, keto might work, or for someone else's body, I mean, who knows? But like I said, but you have to do the work of listening to your body, investigating it, and just saying, and just really accepting, oh my gosh, I've been craving such and such, but oh my gosh, it's really disturbing my body, and it's really, whatever. So it just, again, it's like doing a real investigation. It's like being on a treasure hunt.
I like that.
It just, it's like a mystery. We all have mysteries inside of us, and different makeups and metabolism and all that kind of stuff. And we have to connect with who we are and just say, okay, this is what works for me.
We're almost at the end, and your book has so many other beautiful themes that I have made notes here, but the conversation's so good and it's flowing that I'm not even looking at my notes so much. But I love the day 7 that's about gratitude, which is it's a huge component too, that arises naturally, right, Mary, when we are in that state of listening to our own body, coming from that true self, then gratitude just appears out of nowhere.
Oh, absolutely. And it's like we realize what we just been doing such a great job of self-sabotage when we just really just be who we are and just listen and just like I said, fun and happiness and gratitude. Just really, it's just like a natural thing. It's just like, I mean, I wake up in the morning and this is like, oh my gosh, what a gorgeous sunrise. Oh my, the birds are singing, all this type of thing. So it's like, you're right. And it's like, oh my goodness, how just they have told us our little things are just like, they're fantastic. You're grateful for, oh, my plant has a new bud, or it's like, yeah. So and it begets more gratitude, and more happiness and more fun, and it's just like, and then you're able to share that with the other people, and it really, really influences and affects other people.
Another theme that I love in your book is day 11, play date. That's all about the importance of play. I love that. And that's something that you do, Mary, really well, from what I see.
Oh, yes. Like, yeah, I'm like, as I said earlier, I'm at the fun part. It's just like, yeah, it's like, yeah. And two, just the whole thing. And just enjoying my feeling of fun. I just, for me, that's what for me, playing is just like, just doing whatever. It's just like, and again, it's back to what you were saying earlier about thinking with your heart and feeling and being in your body. And it's just like, yeah, let's do this, or let's try it, or oh, that sounds interesting. So
yeah, we tend to become very serious about too many things, and then we lose the sense of lightness, which is interesting how the word light has to do with playfulness. So that's an interesting also kind of observation, being light, which relates in spirituality to higher kind of elevated understandings in thinking, like you said, of the heart. So that's interesting. I love that. That caught my attention immediately in your book. The play date. I'm like, oh my God, that's it. This is it. And then you have so many other themes, beautiful ones. Healing humor, community connections. I love that one. Letting go. That's another powerful one. And then give back. Then you talk about optimistic outlook too, day 18. That caught my attention. You say, optimists believe defeat is not their fault. Circumstances, bad luck, or other people brought it about. Confronted by a bad situation, they perceive it as a challenge and try harder. That's a beautiful message, too, about being optimistic, but coming from a place of truth, of inner truth, right, Mary?
Definitely. It's about being, I call being practical, being grounded and all that. But it's just like by being practical, by being grounded in who you really are, then you're really open to seeing things in a totally different way. I mean, and that's the way I've always looked at my whole life. It's like, if it ain't a challenge, I ain't interested. So because I know from the challenges that we have, or the situations that occur in our life, and if we take a moment, take a step back and just breathe and do all the things of taking our time and just seeing what's the learning, or what's in this for me, or whatever. Again, it's just the changing of the mindset and getting into and staying in your trueness and your body.
It's just easy to be optimistic when we come from that place. That's how I feel. It's so much easier. So much easier. So there are 24 days. 23rd, spiritual growth, of course, that caught my attention immediately. And then the final day, the 24th, that's personal philosophy. What a beautiful conclusion there, because now you can create your own personal philosophy about life. I want to thank you again for what you do and for this beautiful, sincere desire to help others, the intention you have, but most of all, for being you, for being the authentic person, human being that you are. That's like, to me, is the most important thing, because now you're not just the messenger, but the message itself. That means a lot to me. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. That's beautiful. I'm the message as well as the messenger. Ooh, I love that.
Yeah, yes. So I have a few more questions, the ending questions. Before that, would you like to add anything else or read a passage in your book?
No, I think you've covered a whole lot of the things that I really wanted to get covered. So that was fantastic. I thank you for your questions.
Thank you, Mary, for your presence. And the last question is one that I probably have asked you before. What 3 experiences you wish everyone to have before they lose the body, before they die?
Experience. Experience. I guess I only have one answer. The experience of coming home to their true self and living their life from the inside out based on who they are.
It's so true. A lot of times I think about courage when the message comes to me about living from the heart and doing, being true to yourself. But it takes trust too, right, Mary? It does take trust.
Trust and confidence. Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's but it's again a relearning of who we are at the very beginning of our lives, and it's just like we can do it, and it's just like. But the bottom line is just when returning to your true self and staying with him or her, who the case may be. It's just like. And that's the whole challenge, because there's, all the, and we have a whole lot of history and society, all those things going against us, but it's doable. We can change and really live the life that we want to live.
So before we say goodbye, what is the best way to find more information about you, your books, services, courses, and future projects?
Everything is at Create Right Now. That's WRITE now.com. And you'll find everything that you need to know about journaling for the health of it.
Wonderful. And I do have the link here, and that will be on your podcast profile. Thank you so much again, Mary, for your presence and for being the message. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. To learn more about Mary L. McCarthy and her work, please visit createrightnow.com.
To learn more about this podcast, please visit fitforjoy.org/podcast. Thank you again for listening, and bye for now.